Thank you.
Mr. Singh, would you take a few minutes and introduce yourself to the council?
Yes. Good evening. My name is Kit Singh. I am a local dentist. I practice in the city of Redmond Town Center. My home here is in Woodinville, and I also own a winery here in Woodinville called Lauren Ashton Cellars.
Could you say a little more about yourself? Okay. We know that much.
Okay, you know that much. So, I moved to Woodinville because I really liked the open space that Woodinville affords us. It is also closer to my work, both of them. And I've had a long-term interest in serving my community. And so I've had 23, 24 years of practice, had a lot of experience in private practice, and also started that second business of the winery. And that business is very much a booming industry in Woodinville, and I'd like to see how I can facilitate helping that along.
Okay,
so.
Thank you. Each of us is going to ask you one question.
Sure.
And we have asked the same questions of each applicant, okay? We're going to start with Councilmember Robstello. Councilmember Robstello?
Thank you. And Mr. Singh, thank you again for applying.
You're
This
welcome.
question should be pretty easy for you. City Council recently received a study on economic development in the wine, beer, spirits industry that recommended that the city participate in funding a visitors hub, which is essentially a super visitors center. What are your views on such a proposal?
Yes, so anything that would generate interest and accessibility for tourist visitors into Woodinville would be a great asset for us to have. I think if you look at what's happening in Woodinville, we started with St. Michel, and subsequently you have now over maybe 110 wineries that are located in Woodinville. Wineries tend to group together. It fits in the whole tourism model. People look for a destination to go to when they go wine tasting. They're looking for an experience. I think a visitors center, a hub, would be a great thing for the city of Woodinville to have, because it'll help centralize things a little bit. We have districts, tourist district, we have the warehouse district. There's some new projects that are being built. The wine village got approved. So we're growing. Interest in us is growing. Interestingly enough, we are becoming a worldwide phenomenon. I see personally, so we open our tasting room on Mondays. The reason I do that primarily is for out-of-town visitors. I get a lot of out-of-town visitors on Mondays, which makes sense for me to open. I have people that come in and look at guidebooks and plan their trips, and they look for certain wineries to visit. And so we see more of that. We have a local Seattle group of people that will come in, Everett or so, from the surrounding areas, but we also are starting to see a lot more visitors from out of state. We actually, interestingly, get a lot of visitors from China and worldwide. So we are seeing a lot more of that happening. So a center would be great for us.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Robstello. Deputy Mayor Harris?
Thank you for applying and being here.
Thank you.
Being on a city council can sometimes be a little less than totally fun if people don't get along very well. My question for you is, a council member's vote is 1 of 7. Give us an idea how you would work together with others to reach an outcome. Yes.
So from the very onset, I tend to collaborate well with people. Just for public record, I am pro-growth and pro-development, and I see a lot of that is being asked of Woodinville. And so the key is we work for people. We work for the community. That's why I'm here. And so we have to make decisions that benefit our community. There's no point in being obstructionist in those situations. I have actually heard, I haven't seen, that our city council here has had quite a bit of differences of opinion over the years. I have actually seen, I've gone to the Woodinville Water District to some of their meetings, and I've seen it in their meetings where you have one individual that really sort of ruins the night in some ways because personal reasons or whatever. And I think that's not productive. I think we need to have a mindset when we come to these meetings why we're here. And we're here to serve the community. We're here to try to find make best decisions for our community.
Thank you. My question for you, Mr. Singh, is what might your vision be for Woodinville for the next 10 years?
Okay. So I personally would like to see the tourism industry in Woodinville develop. You have to think back a long time ago, somebody applied for a building permit in Redmond and to build one of Microsoft's first buildings. Who would have known where that went? When I opened my practice in Redmond Town Center, I was one of the first people there. At that point in time, the city council in Redmond was very anti-growth, anti-development. It was very hard to get a business started or a building built. My practice first started in Kirkland, which I moved to Redmond. And the reason I did that is Kirkland had no buildings. At that point in time, to put in a dental practice is a very expensive thing. I was in an old wooden building that I was afraid that would get demolished soon. And so I went to Redmond. And I saw in my own permit application, as I talked to the developer who was developing Town Center, and I understood the challenges that they had. So what I would like to see for us is we've got an industry, the wine industry, whether we like it or not, it's here. And I think it's here to stay. You have some significant development going on. You have the wine village now being approved. You have some areas here in downtown that can be used for some wine tasting rooms. You actually have your project next door. I believe that you are going after some wineries there. So it's here to stay. Why don't we look at how we make it better? Keep in mind, when people and tourists come in, they're looking for a destination, they're looking for an experience. We have to expand beyond just a 1,200-foot tasting room, a 1,000-foot tasting room, which is a lot of what's being built right now. We have to accommodate for buildings and places that would be more of an experience, more ambiance, more, I think back you look at California and some of their wine industries, Paso Robles, places like that. You've got these beautiful rolling hills, beautiful estates. I know some of the citizens in Woodinville is very, very anti the winery coming in, and I can see that. They wanted it to stay small. But I think wineries and citizens want the same thing. They want beautiful spaces, they want green space, they want open areas. And I think if you look and you plan it well, you can accomplish a really vibrant wine industry along with pleasing the citizens of Woodinville. So.
Thank you. Appreciate your answer. Councilmember Best-Campbell.
Good evening, Mr. Singh. Thank you for being here. I wanted to know if you could please describe what you believe this job entails.
Yes. So I will be the first to admit, I have not had any city position. I haven't had any experience in a city position. I know that it entails time commitment. I would imagine you have issues presented to you at all times, and that you need to have the time to read up and to learn about those issues, and then to sit in committee and discuss and vote. I think it's a very serious commitment, and it does deserve a lot of attention. Beyond that, I don't have as much experience as some of your other candidates in actual city government. So.
Thank you. Councilmember Bounty Sanders.
Thanks, Madam Mayor. Your application does not get distributed publicly. It's not on our website. So we're the only people who get to see it. For our audience here, for our audience over the web, would you please just give an overview of your qualifications?
Overall qualifications of city, okay, so I did my undergraduate work at the University of Washington in chemistry. I moved here after high school from Trinidad and Tobago, and started college right away. And then I finished my undergraduate work in the spring and started dental school in that summer. So I had 1 week between undergrad and graduate work. Graduated in 1992 from the University of Washington. Started private practice about 93. Have been in private practice since. When I decided to do the winery, I went back to school, spent a little time at UC Davis, spent a little time here taking some courses at Seattle Community College. I actually ended up teaching the wine science program at Seattle Community College, the South Seattle campus. When I became too busy, I had to give that up. And I'm always a continual lifelong learner. I spend time in the things I want to do, and I learn all about it and get it done. So.
All right, thank you.
Councilmember Taylor.
Okay, so the question is, have you run for elective office in the past?
No, I have not. I have actually had entertained running for this office a while back. And when the position opened up, I said, well, if I'm going to run for it, I may as well start somewhere. So here I am today. So you might see me in the future if I don't get it. So.